Well, what about...
What does that feel like? A star, A star. One man who knows what those pupils are going through. I wonder whether he'll have the same experience. Radio 1 DJ Greg James, he's going to get some GCSE results today. You took a maths exam.
We did in July, late June. We took a GCSE exam, the higher paper, and just to kind of empathise with the audience, really, because it was a few years since we've all done our exams, and we thought it'd be a good idea to do one.
When you say we, you mean you and a couple of other Radio 1 DJs?
Yeah, it was me and Scott Mills and Aled from the Chris Moyles Show, and also Comedy Dave and Carrie and Grimmy and a few other people.
So you're how old are you now? You're
22.
22. So it's going back 6 years or so.
Yeah.
How did you do in your original GCSEs?
In my original, with maths, I got a B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're hoping to get better than that?
The thing was, I mean, we were given about 2 weeks to prepare for it, and it was difficult to do that in 2 weeks, to kind of relearn everything.
I feel excuses coming on already.
This is a big excuse, no it is, but it was so hard. Everyone was sitting in there going, oh my God, this is just impossible. Scott Mills walked out, I walked out an hour before the end, and I think Comedy Dave was the first one to go, he'd had enough.
Well, you threw your paper down?
On the basis that you just couldn't do any more, you'd done all you could, and...
Well, we're just looking at it and we're just thinking, this is too difficult, we should have done more work for it perhaps, but I think a lot of people are saying that exams are getting easier, but they're clearly not at all.
So you thought it was as hard as or harder than the original?
Well, we're harder because I hadn't done as much work. But if I maybe had studied it, they're pretty much the same questions. I remember the type of question. Okay. I just thought, I hadn't learnt this. I didn't know what I should be doing.
Well, you're not very optimistic, clearly, about the...
Not optimistic at all. I do think perhaps a U, because it was a higher paper, and if you don't get a C, you drop off and get a U.
But judging from the pictures, you were allowed to take your cuddly toys in to put on the desk.
I took a big duck.
Has your plastic duck been lucky for you previously?
Previously quite lucky, so I thought, welcome along to the duck, and yeah, I'm not sure though, I'm pretty much sure it's a U today.
It does make you think, I mean, you'll know this better than us really, having done that. Those two youngsters who took those exams there with the A's and the A stars, I mean, I dare say, I assume they are amongst the higher performing pupils at that particular place, but nonetheless, that is quite an achievement, isn't it?
It's a massive achievement. I think people forget how hard you have to work in order to get the grades. There's a lot of talk about, oh, it's really easy to get these GCSEs and A-levels and things now, but actually you have to work hard, and if you don't work hard, you don't get it. I think that's one thing that I did a lot of. I'm awful at exams. I hate them so much, and I'm not very good at them. But the one thing is, you just shut yourself away in the summer and try and just do your best, really.
And we've been asking people to open their results live on Breakfast this morning, but you are resisting.
I'm resisting. I'm being forced to open it on Jo Wiley's show today, so she can take the mick a bit.
Well, you see that lovely girl there thought that she hadn't done enough work and then got A's and A stars, so you never know.
You never know.
She's one of those people, I could just tell. There were always people like that at school, you know, who said, oh, I haven't done any work really.
I think Aled from the Chris Moyles Show is the one that's going to get the A today.
I think they've been fading you out this morning on the Chris Moyles Show.
Good morning to them all.
Good luck.
You might get a ribbing from them later on.
Thanks very much.
Good luck, I hope you've done well.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, and if you are one of those getting your results today, and maybe they're not quite what you expected, unlike those people we saw a little earlier, then you can call the BBC helpline on 0808 100 8000 for advice. You can see the number on the screen now. Lines open at 9 o'clock this morning.
Yes, 0808 100 8000. Calls are free from a landline. Charges from a mobile will vary. More advice on the BBC website, bbc.co.uk/surgery.